to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
All right, here we go.
Oh, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Live.
Well,
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, what else is losing its Southern heritage? And more stores are closing due to this pandemic, or were they just, their time is served? Also, these people are replacing cops on police calls. And is Wagyu the way to go? All these and much, much more will be answered here and talked about and discussed here on DeaconLive. How are you? How are things going? How are things? Are you doing all right? Are you getting along? Are you getting out and moving around and stuff? And when I say moving around, you know, just getting out there and be safe, be careful. I always stress that to the most part, you know, for whether it be the coronavirus, whether it be the protesting and everything that's going out there, just eyes in the back of your head, neck on a swivel type thing. And before we get started, I like to, and I hope this reaches across everyone and makes them feel good when they just, you know, reach their hands up. Deep breath, bring it in, and let's talk about everything, guys. Let's talk about me and you. Let's talk about what's been going on here at DeaconLive. Well, a bunch of stuff is going on. We got a jam-packed show for you, and when I say jam-packed, we got a lot of new things going on here, and I'm glad that you guys could be part of it, and we appreciate that. So speaking of being a part of something, my wife took the day off the other day. She wasn't doing well. Well, we had some things that happened here on the French, and so she wanted to collect herself, which is fine. You're allowed to sit here and collect yourself, and sometimes just this whole world gets overpowering. It gets overstimulated, and you just need to sit down and relax, take a moment for yourself. And so she did. She had to take what do they call that? A mental health day. So she took a mental health day. And you know what she did? She played. I bought her one of those not Super Nintendo, the regular Nintendo. The Super Nintendo's coming. The old classic arcade game thing. She's playing the Mario games on the TV and relaxing. And in the middle of the day, I said, you know, babe, what can I get you? Can I get you anything? Can I do anything for you? She's like, I just want mindless entertainment. And that's what she was doing, just playing the Super Mario game. I said, well, let me do this. Can I make you some lunch? I always make her lunch, or try to make her lunch. I make her breakfast every morning. I said, well, let me make you some lunch. I said, you know what? Let's do this. Let me go out and get you lunch today. Oh, you'll do that? Yes, babe. I will go out. Now, we live on the French. Now, that's a big deal out here in the French because we're in the middle of nowhere. And it's a good, 30-mile drive to get anything around here. I said, well, let me go get you some lunch. I said, what would you like? Well, I'd really like a nice, fresh Subway sandwich. I said, okay, fine. So we drive to the next town over, or I drive to the next town over, and I go to Subway, and leave it to me, leave it to Deacon. You know, the one day, this day, Monday, I go out, and I walk and I get there early. I get there before the quote-unquote lunch rush, and I get in there, and there's nobody in there. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to get my sandwich. Sometimes you worry about the girls behind the counter or anyone behind the counter, whether they're going to thank you, whether they're going to short you a strip of beef. Because, they count the meat when they put it on your sandwich. 4 hams, 4, turkeys, 3 cheese, whatever it is. They have a menu where they have to only put so many on there. So I walk in, and the young girl behind, it just happened to be a girl behind the counter, says, do you have cash? And I'm thinking, well, that's an odd thing to ask me when I first walk in there, and I'm the only one there. I'm like going, no, why? Well, our card reader's down. I guess the owner was in the store, and he was trying to fix the card reader. I had to upload a new something for it. I said, well, I don't have cash. Well, there's an ATM out in the middle of the parking lot, or there's a food line right next door. You can go to the food line, get money out over there. I said, okay, fine. So I go buy a couple bags of chips, and then you get money back from there. So I go over there. I walk in. Literally, it took 15 minutes. I walk back in, and she's like, do you have cash on you? I'm like, I was just here a minute ago. Oh, yeah, that's right. How many people came in the door since I left? None. Yes, I've got cash. All right, good. And I explained my sandwiches. My wife will have a ham and cheese and, you know, all that stuff. And I said, I always get the Subway Club. We don't have the Subway Club anymore. Why? We don't have roast beef. Oh, okay. Oh, I got it. Because of the meat shortage. And I got it. So what are you doing in place? Well, we're just putting double ham on there. I'm like, well, it's not really I really don't want the ham. It's because you guys got shitty ham. My wife likes the sandwich. No problem. Me? All right, we'll put double bacon on mine just so I can get the sweetness, the saltiness of the sandwich down. So, you know, you move it down to the vegetables, and, well, the girl goes, you know, what do you want she doesn't know it's my wife. What do you want on the ham and cheese? My wife likes a lot of mayonnaise on there. So, you know the mayonnaise thing. It looks like a little cartridge, just, you know, a little cylinder cartridge, and they pound it on the counter. And I said, heavy on the mayo. I always do the mayo first before we do all the lettuce and stuff. That way the shit doesn't sit on top. Put the mayo down in the crease of the bread. So she squeezed that thing. I swear to God, at least a full cup of mayonnaise came out in one section. I'm like, whoa. She moves over a little bit more, squeeze it out. I'm like, whoa. I said, that is a lot. Are you is this your first time making a sandwich? I'm not yelling at her. But I'm like, that just looks ridiculous. That is ridiculous. So she's like, oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to take some off? No, leave it on there. My wife can take it off when she gets home. And then we do mine, and I you know, do all the stuff. And I want jalapenos. Lots of jalapenos on mine. I love it. Lots of pickles, lots of jalapenos. You know, I don't even need the meat. Just put the bacon on there and lettuce and pickles and jalapenos. I'll be happy. It's like a BLT, but instead of tomatoes, it's BLJ. BL, bacon, lettuce, and pickles and jalapenos. Anyways, there you go. So yeah, I went to Subway, but, you know, leave it to me. And the guy goes, now, the owner's there, and he goes, now we're going to run your card, and you're going to be the first one with this new system up. I'm like, great. So I put the card in, pull the card out. Yep, we're good. All right. Phew. All right. So I don't have to, now I got $40 burning a hole in my pocket. So what do you do? Well, I went and got gas in the truck and stuff. All right, so that was just a small little thing. It's the littlest things. You know, you don't go out that often, or at least we don't here in the French. And when you go out, you have a certain level of expectation. You just want everything to go well. You just want everything to work. You know, you're not doing it all the time. You know, it's not like the ratio of you getting into difficulties going to restaurant. Like if you went to Burger King every day. You know, something might happen 1 out of the 10 times you go there every day. But I go to Subway maybe once every 3 months, and the one time I go, everything falls apart on me. All right. Just leave it to Deacon. He messes stuff up. All right, when we come back, we'll get into the meat of the show. And we'll get into some of the stuff. Now, I'm going to be light and fluffy today. I'm going to be real light and fluffy, but there are some things we do need to discuss here on DeaconLive, and I'm not separating anyone. I'm not drawing lines in the sand. I'm not, you know, creating this and them and us and those, you know, us and them parties. I'm just bringing some stuff up, going to talk about it a little bit, and then we'll be nice and happy because you guys are being bombarded with all this stuff on your news feed and on the news networks and stuff. So stick around. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Always hate the first one. Welcome back to DeaconLive. You can give us a call anytime at the station at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time in the Queen City studio, located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Make sure you follow us on all our social networks and stuff. And the way you do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio.com, and you can click on the social network pages. And you just heard right there, that is Heal My Heart, the new single from Mikey Hampton and the Meows. Now, Mikey Hampton and the Meows is like this alternative rock band from New York, and they have a new album out called Okay, I'm Ready to Rock Now. Make sure you check them out. You can find them on Reverb Nation, Spotify, all those streaming platforms, and that's Mikey Hampton and the Meows and their new song called Heal My Heart. I like them. They've been with the station here for a while, so make sure you check them out. So speaking of checking things out, there's a meat shortage out there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, and the reason why there's a meat shortage is because, they're shutting meat packing plants down, and Trump says, this has got to. Now, we're not political, we're not religious, believe me, but this is what happened. This is what unfolded. Trump said keep the meat packing plants open. They can't because some of the people are catching coronavirus, blah, 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 blah. So a couple of the processing plants are slowed down. They're not closing, they're slowing down. So in retrospect, that's what happened to my Subway Club, which has roast beef, turkey, and ham on it. I was not able to get that roast beef on my Subway Club, my Subway sub. But this one company here, you ready for this, guys? If you're watching this on the video feed here, look at this sandwich here. Holy mackerel. That's what I wanted. When I go get a Subway Club, that's what I want. This big Subway. It's not Subway, though, but that's what kind of sub sandwich I want. In this innovative do-or-die climate for restaurants, Capriati's Sandwich Shop has 112 locations across 16 states. Sees an opportunity to bring something extraordinary to their customers. The restaurant is adding several items featuring American Wagyu beef to their menus. And surprisingly, the prices aren't that bad. Now, you'll be able now to enjoy luxurious beef in the Wagyu roast beef American style sandwich, American Wagyu Slobby Joe, American Wagyu cheesesteak sub, as well as the Wagyu and blue salad. Can I say Wagyu one more time? Now, these subs, they're not cheap, but they are a little, they're Wagyu goes for $200 a pound. Let's put it that way. So the prices range from $10.49 for a small sub. Now, I don't know if it's 6 or 12 inch or whatever the size is. It doesn't say anything. And $19.99 for a large sub. This is likely the cheapest way to try the beef that all the superstar chefs are now clamoring for. Now, with that being said, I'm going to do a little side note here. Did you know that your Kobe beef, up until I think it was 2014 here in the United States, wasn't actually Kobe beef? It was a generic knockoff whatever, because Kobe beef was only made in Japan, and Japan would not export it to the United States. So up until 2014, if you were at your friend's wedding in 2011, I got Kobe beef sliders. No, you didn't. They were generic. And this is the same thing. Wagyu beef is this new top-of-the-line beef that's out there. And the award-winning sandwich shop partnered with Snake Rivers Farms and the leading producer of Wagyu beef in America to bring its top-quality products to the customers that may not have a chance to try it yet. At the Capriati's Sandwich Shop, our passion is to be extraordinary. For us, that means bringing our fans the highest quality of ingredients and best tasting subs. Of course, that's what everyone. You don't want to. We do okay. Hey, come get our subs. We do all right. There's bread, there's meat, there's a couple little anchovies in there. Maybe not. I don't know. But why is Wagyu beef so expensive? Wagyu beef originated in Japan, like I was talking about the Kobe, and it's produced from breeded cows with more of a intramuscular fat cells, I guess. I don't know. They breed them differently. American Wagyu is known for its highly marbled, rich and tender flavor that practically melts in your mouth. Although Japanese Wagyu beef is considered by some to be the only legitimate Wagyu beef, American producers still import Japanese cattle to achieve comparable results. So there you go. Wagyu Association started in 1990, and now Capriati's Sub Sandwich Shop is now creating a $20 sub. Now, I know there's other places out there that get ridiculous as far as creating prices or high volume or high dollar items. What's the there's a plate of hot wings that's like $300 because there's gold flakes or something in it. Some bullshit, crazy stuff like that. But there you go. Wagyu. I haven't had Wagyu before. It's interesting. We here at the French on Christmas time was the only time that we do it because it's just myself and my wife here. And when her father-in-law, teacher man, was with us as well, it was just the three of us up here. And we would every Christmas for Christmas dinner we would treat ourselves because we didn't really buy presents for the three of us. It was just three of us, And so we would take the little bit of extra money or the money we normally spend on presents, and we would go and we would buy fillets filet mignons, not the prime one, the one that's like, I think it's like $50 a pound or something like that. So that's what we would get, and we'd get lobster tails and stuff. So, and I was fine with that. I'm fine with a nice filet. I haven't had Wagyu beef yet, so hopefully that'll, might change my life. So if I can find one of these Capriati's sandwich shops, I don't think they're here in Charlotte. I'll look that up and tell you when we come back from the break. All right, when we come back from the break, since we're talking about food and some stuff that's being imported and exported and stuff, there's a lot of changes in the way our culture and what we're doing and how companies are handling it. So when we come back, we'll dive into that here in just a little bit. You're listening to DeaconLive right here on Proper Radio. I'll be right back. Welcome back to DeaconLive. This segment's brought to you by the Asylum Podcast. Just two regular dudes named Marv and Meyer Lansky talking about some ignorant shit, talking about Wagyu beef maybe. I was listening to their podcast the other day. They do a lot of sports talk, these two guys, and they're pretty good. I mean, they know, they're deep involved in sports, and they were right on point. They were talking about the NBA and football and stuff and how they're going to handle this pandemic and stuff. So you can find them on iTunes. That's the Asylum Podcast with Marv and Meyer Lansky. You can follow them on Twitter as well as the Meyer Lansky and the Realist Marv on Twitter as well. So make sure you follow those guys. Great show, and they are on Apple Podcasts as well. Now, with all this food and stuff, I'm ready to get back in the gym. I'm getting to be a big fat fuck. I'm sorry to say it, but I am. I can feel it. My shirts are tighter across my chest. My shorts, I put on a tank top the other day, and I go, well, that was fun. I put my tank top out, and my little belly was hanging out the bottom of the tank top. And I'm like, all right, well, this sucks. This really sucks. So even now here in North Carolina, the gyms have not opened yet. And go walk your ass around the property there, Deacon. We did that for a while. It gets boring because you're at home. You're like going, do it tomorrow. I'll do it another time. But here, Southern California gym reopens with pods for its clients, for them to exercise in the middle of. Make sure you guys are watching this on the video feed here. If I can get through all the stuff. When Redondo Beach Gym reopens to its clients this Monday coming up, it will look very different. Those walking in to Inspire South Bay Fitness will be told to sanitize their hands and have their temperatures taken and asked to sign a waiver as they are assigned into a pod. Each one has its own dumbbells and other equipment inside. The pods took about 3 days to build using shower curtains and pipes, a low-cost alternative, installing plexiglass dividers, and the gym owner, Pete Sapson said, all right. So the gyms and fitness centers have been struggling for months, of course, with the state of grappling of the whole spread of the coronavirus. Now it's been tough. We weren't sure if they were going to be able to reopen again, the owner said, but now, because we've come up with a solution, hopefully we can keep our members happy and stuff. Only 9 gym goers can be allowed inside at one time. 9! That's it. You got a town of 30,000 people, 150,000 people. 9 are going to be able to go in this gym. So what they've done is, if you look at them here on the thing. Okay, close the ad. Close ad. Thank you. They have, hold on, let me back this up. They have built these almost like square chambers that everyone's going in. This is a news article here.
Has been shut down for 3 months. Tomorrow you are opening.
Yes, we are. We're really excited. We have our check-in station over here. We have sanitizing and temperature, and we're really excited to get everything going again, you guys.
But this is the coolest part.
So our coolest part.
Yeah. So
right here we have pods built for our clients. You have everything inside, including dumbbells, foam rolls, disinfected wipes, so you can get yourself cleaned up after you're done with your workouts.
These look like pretty clever.
That's the music in the gym, though. That's not inspiring. It's not me playing music as a music bed. It's what they're playing in the gym.
Idea, because you were telling me it was going to cost you thousands.
Yeah, so we're looking at plexiglasses, and it would have cost us over $10,000 for all of these pods here. So we came up with this idea with just PVC pipe and shower curtains to keep it clean.
So
yeah, so they've come up with people. I mean, it's smart, and shower curtains. So look, I hope it works for them, but only 9 at a time. I mean, the gym looks like it could probably hold maybe 100 people, 200 people. But I mean, Jesus, I mean, that's what I guess. I mean, if you're really in about getting in shape and stuff, that's what you're going to have to do. Now, something right now that's changing the shape and the landscape of everything that's going on here with everyone protesting and police violence and everything that's going on. A lot of companies are stepping up and they're changing their brand. They're looking at their brands and understanding and trying to realize, how it might be offensive to some people. So one of the things Quaker, who's owned by PepsiCo, is doing is they're changing the branding for Aunt Jemima.
Familiar face at breakfast for more than a century will soon be a thing of the past. Quaker Oats, which is owned by Pepsi, announcing that they're getting rid of the 130-year-old Aunt Jemima brand, famous for pancake mixes, maple syrup, and other breakfast foods.
Aunt Jemima buckwheat pancakes. They're good.
The company says by the end of this year, its packaging will no longer feature the controversial Aunt Jemima image.
Now, before this video is probably going to talk about it, they revamped Aunt Jemima, I think in like the either late 90s or early 2000s, and they took the do-rag off her head. They made her a little bit more wholesome looking. They gave her some, a nice shirt. She's got a great smile. She made her hair's all done up, and she just looks like a black female on the now the Aunt Jemima. It's not the I guess I don't know. I'm a white man, so I understand to a certain point as far as the level of education that I've gotten. I don't know if I find this or is this offensive to someone else. I always thought Aunt Jemima itself was a derogatory term. Not the fact that there's a black woman on this label. I thought Aunt Jemima itself was a derogatory term. Uncle Ben's is also, they're rebranding Uncle Ben's because reading the article and stuff, slave owners didn't refer to black people as Mr. and Mrs., so they always assigned them an aunt and uncle. It was easier for them to quote-unquote swallow. So here's the rest of the article.
And soon, they will completely change the brand's name altogether.
It's time to let go of symbols like this because of how weighted they are and what they represent.
Cornell University's Dr. Rashay Richardson recently wrote a New York Times article, "Can we please finally get rid of Aunt Jemima?"
Children, going with their parents to the grocery store can still see images, this retrograde image of black womanhood on store shelves. And it's an image that harkens back to the antebellum plantation. It's rooted in plantation.
Then this is just my opinion. Then we need to educate them. This is actually what happened. This is what's going on. This was a symbol of a era in our history. Now, I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just saying this is what happened in our history. To say it's wrong, to say it's right, to say, who's to say what we're doing today, right now, this very day? Who's to say that we're doing what we're doing right now, 30 years from now, people are going to find offense to it. People are going to find offense to podcasts. People are going to find offense to everyone taking selfies. Oh my God, you're so, sociopath. You have to have pictures of yourself on your Facebook. I mean, I got over 3,000 some odd fans on my personal page, and however many thousands of fans on across all the social networks and stuff. I scroll through them, and all you see is picture after picture after picture of people taking just pictures of themselves. How self-centered are we to do that? Who's to say that that's going to be wrong in the next 30? We don't know. At the time that they did Aunt Jemima back then, they didn't know that was bad. Now, bad, good, whatever. But like I said, I think Aunt Jemima itself, the name was always, to me, it was always bad. It was always a derogatory term.
Aunt Jemima is that kind of stereotype that is premised on this idea of black inferiority and otherness.
Posts blasting the image's negative stereotypes, flooding social media.
Let me fix you some breakfast. Aunt Jemima.
This video posted Monday, receiving more than 1 million views.
Did you know the founder, Chris Rutt, a white man, got the name after attending a minstrel show? Think blackface. Not today. Black Lives Matter, people. Even over breakfast.
So there you go. That's a young girl, black girl, pouring out a box of Aunt Jemima. I understand. I understand completely. I think education is one of the things that we need to do just to wipe it off the shelves. Leave her face there because, I don't know if she's a real, I don't know the history of on that. So maybe I shouldn't say anything. Maybe I shouldn't talk about it. But I'm just telling you how I feel on that. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some people are right, some people are wrong. It's just, at least you know where I stand. I guess that makes any sense to you. I hope it does because I get along with everybody. I don't find, I don't know. I better stop now. Something else that's going away. Let's see what time we're at. Another thing that's going away is HBO Max. You've already heard the stories about him. HBO Max has taken away guns from cartoons, and they're also removing Gone with the Wind from its lineup. HBO Max is now pulling Gone with the Wind, and the reason why they're doing it is because it depicts slavery. Well, the movie was shot in that time period, that time element. I don't know if that's going a little too far as far as the whole movie. It's 4 hours long. You ever watch Gone with the Wind? It's 4 hours long. It's not like they're doing anything. It's depicting the time back then when it was an era. It's a what do they call it? A historical piece. It depicted what was going on at the time back then. People in World War II. A lot of people died in World War II. A lot of people fought for this, and a lot of people fought for that. Should we get rid of all World War II movies because, Hitler and Germany and all that stuff? No. Should we get rid of all the Vietnam War movies because it depicted a horrible time in the U.S.? The Vietnam War was a black eye on America. Hence, if we got rid of those movies, there would be no Rambo. There would be no Chuck Norris if you get rid of those movies. So it's I don't want to say it's art, but it's a timepiece based on movies and stuff reflecting portions of era time in our history. All right, come back. We'll get into that's as heavy as I want to get. I'm sorry, guys. When we get back, we'll talk about a little bit more of this stuff, and then we'll get into the light and fluffy. I promise. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back to Deacon Live. Give us a call anytime at 407-448-8800. You can text us live anytime in the Queen City studio located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And make sure you follow us on all our social networks and stuff. And guys, don't forget, Father's Day is right around the corner. Father's Day is right around the corner. And if you haven't gotten something for your dad yet, you might have a few, maybe minutes, seconds left to go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio, and go to our very own personal designer there. Uplift and Inspire Me Too is dedicated promoting love rather than hate. They've got a great selection of clothing lines up there, personally designed for Father's Day. They've got one that, Dad's the greatest. That should be Father's Day year round and stuff. And if while you're there, pick yourself up something to inspire yourself, to inspire and promote love rather than hate. That's Uplift and Inspire Me Too over on ProphetRadio.com. Now, love, hate. There's a video that's going around, and I promise I'm going to touch on this, and then we'll get off of it. There's a video that's going around of this young gentleman walking down the street, pushes, here, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, if you're watching this on the live feed channel here, and the way you do that is go to ProphetRadio.com while you're buying your Uplift and Inspire garments. Click on Deacon Live, and you can go to the video section. Every podcast that we do here has a video section goes along with it. And let's see if I can find the video while I'm sitting here chatting. Nope. I'll throw this one away. So I'll play it from here. This video shows a man knocking down an elderly woman. 92-year-old woman was knocked down on the ground. There's no sound of this. Elderly woman, a 92-year-old woman was knocked on the ground by a young man randomly in broad daylight, attacked in Manhattan last week. The victim was walking down with her pushcart on 3rd Avenue near East 16th Street. about 3:30 on Friday when she was brutally struck. Now, I say brutally struck. I'm waiting for all these ads to go away. If you're watching the video, let me blow this up so you can see it. Gentleman kind of walked by her. He's wearing a purple shirt, purple pants, white tennis shoes and stuff. And he walks by this elderly woman. It'll play it a couple times here. And he just kind of reaches out and kind of pushes her on it. Now, she's 92. Kind of pushes her on the side of her head, and she probably didn't have her balance. She fell over, and he keeps walking. And it's not a punch. It's not a kick. No, I'm not defending him at all. He's just kind of pushed her on her head like you would do your buddy, like, hey, get out of my way. And he pushes this elderly woman, and she falls and hits the ground. And, you know, he looks back to make sure that, you know, she's still down and she didn't actually hit the fire hydrant that she falls next to. Now, I have an update on that story. There was an update. As of today, let's see if they have any audio on this. As of today at 2 o'clock. Oh, I'm just going to show the thing again. A career criminal with more than 100 arrests to his name was busted for cruelly shoving a 92-year-old woman in the Manhattan fire hydrant, leaving his victim too scared to walk home alone in her neighborhood. The injured elderly Bronx native Geraldine spoke to the Post on Tuesday after the cops arrested the convicted sex offender Rashid Brimage, 31, and charged him with attacking her. I thought a brick hit me or something, is what she says, on the left side of my head and went down and hit my head against the hydrant, Geraldine said. She wanted to withheld her last name. Blood was coming out, not spurting out, but it was dripping. Geraldine, who has lived in Manhattan for more than 50 years, was on her way to Duane Reade. I don't know, I guess this is a store or something. Let me slow that one. When Brimage allegedly shoved her to the ground near 3rd Avenue. Now, let's see. She says, this is her. She's a pistol. This damn guy put me in a state where I was fearful to walk down the streets alone. So my supers are trying to find me someone to walk with me to the park and to the superstore. So I guess superintendents and stuff frequently. The frequent offender has now been arrested 103 times since 2005. That's 15 years. For petty crimes and sex offenders, sources say. The creep was convicted in sexual misconduct in 2012, then arrested for 2 sex offenses in 2014, police sources say. So they found him, picked him up. In 2017, he failed to notify the authorities that he changed his address and registered as a sex offender, and state records show. At the time of Friday's attack, he had 3 open. At the time that he pushed the lady down, he had 3 open pending criminal cases in the city, according to the court records. Now, I don't know, his background, but I mean, 1, 2, 3. All right, there's 103 times. 103 times. That's a lot. I can't make up 103 stories, let alone 103 crimes. Jesus. So if you've seen the video, it's a gentleman in a purple shirt pushing a woman in a pink little sweater or something. She fell into the ground, and they caught the guy, so you don't have to worry about that anymore. Now, something that's happening, changing the whole, it's flipping the when you call the police, it's flipping that world upside down. Hours before, the Albuquerque police detained alleged members of its armed citizens group with protests and interruption on the gun environment. The mayor of the large city announced the unknown. Okay. So, the mayor, let's see, the Albuquerque Mayor Tim Keller announced that the city would create its first of its kind cabinet-level department that would be responding to calls of inebriation, homelessness, addiction, and mental health. We have placed more and more issues on the plates of the officers who are not properly trained well, despite their best efforts of this. And despite some training, they are not totally trained to handle the stuff that a social worker would have. They are not totally trained to be a social worker or to be an addictive counselor or to deal with things around child abuse and stuff like that. So what they're doing is they're actually hiring social workers to go out to these calls. Now, they're not going to be armed. They'll have the minute stuff. They'll have pepper spray. They'll have, a radio. They'll not have a firearm. They won't have a taser. They won't have anything like that. But what they're doing is they're now sending, if you call the police and it's a I don't want to say domestic violence, but anything like inebriation, homelessness, some kind of addiction or mental health, they're sending, instead of the police department out there, they're sending social workers. And, I think that's going to change a lot, because instead of going out there and saying, let's book them, lock them up type stuff, they're going to be able to sit there and someone with some kind of, psychology, where this is stemming from. So they'll be able to act and see signs of stress and stuff a little bit better than your normal police department. So I think that's good. That's a step in the right direction. It's going to take a lot, but it's a step in the right direction as far as handling things of this nature. So, props go out to the Albuquerque Police Chief, Mike Geiger, who's starting this. Now, something else, that it's a good way to start, sending out a public official, I say a public official, social worker out there. But I mean, did I lose it? Please tell me I didn't lose it. I think I did. One second. Pause. Now, when I say it's a start, having the social workers and stuff out there, but it's got to start with you. And here's a small little article I came across, and it says, when a family member says something racist in front of your kids, this is your next move. No matter how much you are inclined to shield your children from painful encounters, there is a good chance, if it hasn't already come up, that your child will hear something or someone making a racist remark or see something committing a racist act. Now, this is what I was kind of stemming from when the one professor was saying about taking down the Aunt Jemima thing. There's even a better chance that it will be coming from someone your child even knows. If your child is watching, if your children watch you address aggressions, they will learn that anti-racism work is a normal hold on. If your child watch you address microaggressions, they learn that anti-racism work is a normal part of life. Instinctively, you might quickly change the subject, distract their attentions, or usher them from the room. Certainly, you can understand the response engaging in uncomfortable conversations, particularly the ones that are spontaneous and emotional charged, or with the one uncle or cousin that you otherwise try to ignore, likely already unfollow him on Facebook. Isn't something you are likely to see these days. However, the goal is to raise anti-racist kids, right? So it starts at home. It starts on a lower level. Don't remove that thing off the shelf without explaining to your child why it's wrong or what is wrong with it, or, tell me how it makes you feel, is exactly what they say in the article. By avoiding racist encounters, you are sending a clear message to your child to don't stand up to racism. On the contrary, if you encounter a racist situation along with your child and you respond to it, you are molding the behavior that your child will practice and will begin to replicate in the same way you do with any other developmental behavior, like empathy after the friend falls down, or gratitude if they've been given a gift. So, what should you do? Parents should absolutely point out the racism and the microaggressions immediately when they witness them. For example, if you have someone asking a person, do you speak English, because of their skin tone, the parent should share with the child about how that person is making the assumption based on the person's looks that is not okay. It's not okay to do that. It's not okay to say that. Ask them how they felt. And most of all, ask them how they think the person receiving the hate felt. This is talking to your child. This is where it starts at home. Feeling someone else's pain is the easiest way to never inflict it. So it's the golden rule that we were talking about a couple podcasts ago. Do unto others as you would have do unto you. So address it quickly, address it, precisely at the moment that it happens. And, we're creating our children. Children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. I think it's a famous line from a song. If not, it should be. Yeah. Someone made a good quote saying that. Someone wrote that, and it was a great song. But that's what we need to do on our level. Start on the ground floor. Start with our children. Teach them that this is what's going on. So that's something small, something we can all do as a community. It takes a village to raise a child. I think that village starts in the home. All right, when we come back, we'll get into, I promise, It's not. It hasn't been bad, right? Please help me. No, I won't. It's been good. All right, when we come back, you know what? There's a new movie coming out. I don't know if you guys are ready for it. And they're say bye to a couple more things at your favorite restaurants. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
There's nothing like a great cup of coffee. And Nautical Star Coffee carry delicious coffee in their online store. It tastes amazing, and it's made fresh to order. Located in North Carolina, Nautical Star Coffee wants to be your go-to online coffee store. Like you, they were tired of the same old mediocre coffee that cost a fortune but had little flavor to show for it. At Nautical Star Coffee, there's no minimum purchase required. Sometimes you just want one bag of coffee, and that's fine with them. Their coffee is roasted, bagged, and shipped at the time of your order to ensure freshness. They search for the best coffee blends from Honduras, Colombia, and Costa Rica to give you the greatest cup of coffee. They're also veteran-owned and operated and truly value your coffee needs. If you want the coffee labeled with your own logo, let them know. They can do that for you. Perfect for restaurants that want to have their own coffee brand, and great for your local company or small business too. Start shopping right now at nauticalstarcoffee.com. That's nauticalstarcoffee.com.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. You just heard the new song from Serenity Pure. Serenity Pure is a female rapper from Brooklyn, New York. Her music tries to inspire people and bring different flow to your ears. As a little girl, she's always been writing music. People told her that she would never finish school. Her music is different and very unique. She deals with various things and issues while writing all her own music. You can find Serenity Pure's music on all streaming platforms. You can find Serenity Pure's music on all streaming platforms, SoundCloud, Spotify, and all other streaming platforms, including Prophet Radio, PROPHET, radio.com. You can find her. She's played at the top of every hour on our station. Great song. I like her song. She's got the one she sent us here. This is called Not a Cute Look. She's got another song out there that I really like. It's called Sick of It. It's got a great little drive, little groove to it. I like it. Now, speaking of driving and a little groove to it, we haven't talked about. We started the program talking about food, and then I saw an abomination of oh God. Now I love hot dogs. I'm a big fan of Roger Woods. And if you're not familiar with Roger Woods, if you don't know what Roger Woods are, it's not a kielbasa, it's not a hot dog, but it is somewhere in between, and it is delicious. It's a nice big fat with a natural casing on it. I love it. Someone has posted this on the old Facebook page, and it should be, oh my God, it should be banned. But sometimes, what was the old joke? Hot dogs came in packs of 8. And hot dog buns came in packs of 12. So somewhere you're going to have to do math. You have to buy like 100 packs of hot dogs just to create, 60 packs. Oops, I'm hitting shit again. To catch up to the 60 packs of buns. Now, if you ever have a hot dog and no bun laying around, what do? You take a piece of regular sliced bread, you put the hot dog diagonally across it, heat it up, boom, Bob's your uncle. This guy here, if you're watching this, let me switch screens here. This guy here has taken, I don't like Oscar Mayer hot dogs. They taste like plastic. Has taken an Olive Garden breadstick from the night before. The breadsticks that you get the, soup salad and breadsticks. He's got a bag that he's brought home. He's cut a slit in it and stuck a damn hot dog in the middle of it. Now, game changer? I don't know, but I mean, I'd be interested to try it. I know there's some weird stuff. I even tried, I didn't have bread one time. I even tried, taking not a taquito, but your regular tortilla wraps and wrapping, taking the hot dog, wrapping it full of cheese, wrapping it full of bacon, and then wrapping the whole tortilla up and eating it that way. Didn't work out. Ugh. It's gross. And Teacher Man, he used to actually buy at the racetrack, which is a gas station, kind of like a 7-Eleven, kind of like a Quick Trip. We where you can get food and gas at the same place. He used to take hot dogs and shove 2 in the bun and only pay for 1. So, but I mean, breadstick, I don't know. They're too good to ruin them with a hot dog, I think. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there. Now, something that's going away, another thing's going away, and I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I have never been a big fan of KFC. And when I say KFC, I used to work many years ago, my younger days, I used to work for PepsiCo. Now, PepsiCo at one time, or still does, I'm not sure what the thing is now, but they, they own KFC, Taco Bell, and Pizza Hut, all in the same, the trifecta of fast food, hippie burnout fast food stuff. And so no one really ate the KFC chicken because they were like, well, we work here. It's like working for your own pizza parlor. You don't eat the pizza and stuff because you're just sick of it. Now, one thing that KFC had that a lot of places did not have. I mean, everyone has their own little sides, their accoutrements that go on the side. When you get your chicken, you can get the mashed potatoes, you can get rolls, you can get, or biscuits, or whatever you want to call it. It's an ending of an era for KFC's most unique sides. The fast food chain has recently announced that it's replacing potato wedges for a different type of fried potato. The secret recipe fries are what's coming out. KFC spoke and confirmed to the news Today Food Thursday that the new fries are coming out and that are going to be part of a permanent menu item in all U.S. locations this week. And in case you were hoping to sneak one last order of potato wedges before they're all gone, spokesperson says they've already disappeared from the menu. So if you're a big fan of the potato wedges, I was not. I don't like big steak fries. I don't even like them like when you have a steak. You want fries or you want something? I'll have the something else. I don't like the big steak fries. I don't like the mushiness of them. I like a nice crisp potato fry. But yeah, KFC's getting rid of their potato wedges, and they're opting for a new season's fries. What those will look like, I don't know. If you see them out there, take a picture and send them to us here at Prophet Radio, PROPHET Radio. There's a little button there that says share, and you can share and send us a picture on that as well. Now, a couple places that are closing. KFC's losing their potato wedges, and I don't know if it's because of the pandemic or just because I think their time has come and gone. JCPenney's is now starting to close another 136 locations across the country. Now, I remember school shopping. I would go to JCPenney's all the time, and I get all the, I don't like this. They itch. They're scratch. I don't like JCPenney's, but that's where my mom used to take me for school shopping. Now, the deals on the merchandise will range between 25 to 40% off all JCPenney locations. And you know what they do? They'll put 25% on everything. There's nothing 40% until all the good stuff's gone and all the shitty stuff is left. You know what I mean? It's like nobody wants that. It's like when a grocery store goes out of business. All the alcohol and everything is the first thing to be bought up. And then at the end, there's like tofu, organic crap. Nobody wants those. So they're going away. JCPenney's is slowly shutting their doors, unfortunately. I mean, they were a staple in our economy across the whole entire United States. And to see them shutting their doors is, I guess, a sense of reality of what's coming around. And a store, I didn't even know these places exist anymore. You ever heard of a mall? Are you guys familiar with a mall? I guess in a mall, they had a store. I mean, you got your Build-A-Bears, your Orange Julius, what is it, the FYE Entertainment or Music Land or whatever you want to call it right now. But the mall itself, the idea of a mall, is going away. And one of the stores that the mall is taking with it is called a children's place. They will be closing 300 stores. I have never heard, now I don't have children, and the children that we do have fur and legs and feathers and all 4 legs. But they're saying the children's place has announced it will be closing 300 stores during the next 2 years following losses tied to COVID-19, the pandemic, and the company's desire to reduce its brick and mortar footprint. See, that's the thing. They should have done a more online thing. In an earnings conference call last week, the children's clothing retailer cited the increase of e-commerce as one of its factors on deciding, maybe that's it, in its decision to close all the stores, many of which are located in malls. Around 200 stores are expected to be closed by the end of 2020. An additional 100 to be closed in 2021. Now, Children's Place has 920 stores in U.S. and Canada. However, Children's Place, I've never been there before. Here's the signs that I was talking about, if you're watching this on the video. Entire store, 50% off. All basic denims, $7.99. Activewear, 50% off. Graphic tees, $3.99. My place for back to school. There's a big sign there. So this sign's in Scarsdale, New York. So there you go. Children's Place and JCPenney closing up shop, getting out of there. They're saying, you know what, we're done. Our time is served. Everything is going online. And there's no more brick and mortar stores. There's not going to be any brick and mortar stores ever. It's just going to be all these. It's just going to be kiosks. It's just going to be like going to the ATM and you want to buy something, you just go if you don't have a computer. But for the most part, I think everyone has some type of way or form of getting on the computer to buy stuff. So there you go. They're going away. And when we come back, we'll get into a last couple of things. Let's have some fun. You guys like roller coasters? When we come back, we'll get into that. And I can tell you how to be a millionaire. Real easy. It takes one little thing to do. And when we come back, I'll tell you what it is. Stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Hey, guys, it's the Deacon. There's a brand new website out there that deals with all the news articles and all these stories having to deal with COVID-19. It's called ncov2019.tv. It's a live dashboard that provides the most recent updates on the coronavirus from around the world. They also proudly announce the selection of the best videos, information to form main sources that cover vaccine news in the next months. ncov2019.tv does not only provide recent information on coronavirus, but also has explicit breakdown with maps, statistics from all over the world, graphic representation, survival rate calculator, vaccine news, vaccine videos, and also many more information. ncov2019.tv has a news section, Vaccine Companies, that covers all the companies involved with the vaccine development. This amazing dashboard helps people navigate through the necessary safety precautions and get firsthand information about recent happenings dealing with COVID-19. As the coronavirus continues to spread around the globe, companies and labs are racing to develop a vaccine that would help society get back to normal. This online dashboard allows anyone to navigate through the recent news and vaccine developments, and also getting live updates and all access needed information throughout the world. For more information, go to ncov2019.tv. You can find their link on Prophet Radio's website. Welcome back to Deacon Live. You just heard the new song, My Friend Hip Hop, from Loose Music and Pat, P-A-T, Louisiana's finest. They have a new album that drops this June 19th, called Inside the People. You can follow them on Instagram at Los Music, LOSMUSICK, and also Instapat, INSTAPAT, on Instagram, and follow them on Twitter at Wako Chunk. I can't pronounce it. You can find them on Twitter, and links are available on our website. I gotta put that on there. So I can't pronounce them, but I'll put links on there. Links on the website. That's a new song called My Friend Hip Hop. I like it. That is a smooth groove right there. Kind of reminds me of Ice Cube a little bit when he started getting into his little bit more mellower moods and stuff. He wasn't the angry guy in the beginning, the NWA, and then his first solo album, America K's Most Wanted, towards not Predator, but anyways, towards the later date. Anyway, now one thing that I'm a big fan of, speaking of being angry and mad, is actual Mad magazine. I remember growing up, I loved Mad magazine. It was kind of like when I was 10, 11 years old. It was I don't want to say it was the It was the No Naughty magazine, but it was the magazine that I used to read because the jokes were funny. My dad, he hated it. And my mom and dad come from a strictly very, very religious background. My dad's Baptist. My mom's United Methodist. Somewhere in between, they decided to have sex, and I was born. You know, they're all sticks up their asses. So I've seen both sides. I've seen, you know, the free radicals, and I've seen the uptight conservative. And hence, the DeaconLive show. But Mad Magazine was always my escape. And here's something my dad said to me. This is the typical thing my dad said to me. Is I used to get a subscription for 1 year. Every year I used to get a subscription to Mad Magazine as a kid growing up. Now, it's funny because when I turned 18, my mom, you know, said, what do you want for your birthday and stuff? And I said, I want the 4-year subscription to Mad Magazine. My dad looked at me with disgust and said, you know, you're going to be 22 reading these magazines. And I kind of looked at him like I didn't know that was wrong. I didn't know that was, is that wrong? I liked Mad Magazine. It was one of the few magazines out there that absolutely did not allow any outside advertisement at all until I think the mid-2000s. They started getting like Altoids and stuff like that. And the pages were always black and white. There was that newspaper paper print. And then they started incorporating color print. And then I guess they were, you know, it's a dying media. And then they started allowing advertisement and stuff. Now, this guy has been around since the beginning of Mad Magazine. And you might not know his name, but you know his artwork. And this is JAffe. He was the one who used to do all the amazing artwork. And that was the one thing that I loved about Mad Magazine. You could always tell when JAffe was drawing. He would make the characters his style of art and stuff. And this is just a brief little thing of what he's done.
And I'm a journeyman cartoonist. I found my passion for drawing when I was very, very young.
Now, he's 95 in this video, by the way.
I like to do cartooning and sometimes illustration because that's the thing that I really enjoy immensely. Yeah, I have a certificate that I received on my 95th birthday from the Guinness Book of World Records that I am the longest working cartoonist in history. And it's been a very pleasurable 60 years because I respect the people at MAD. I don't like to use the term we were a family because it's so overused. Everyone's a family. The Yankees are a family. The Dodgers are a family. What you do is you wake up every Monday morning and you say, what am I going to produce now to make a buck? So
that's JAffe. He actually passed away. Unfortunately, he just passed away this past week, 99 years old. Now, in this video, he was 95. So he said he's been the longest artist, drawing cartoon artist for 60 years. So that means he didn't start until he was 35. You know, 60 years ago, everyone, you know, you had grandkids at 35. You know, you already had a full family and stuff. You didn't start a career cartooning or drawing at 35. You usually started in your mid-20s or early 20s out of college and stuff. So yeah, JAffe, Mad Magazine artist. If you don't know, you picked up his magazine. You've seen his artwork before, especially if you've seen back in the day. What was it? The America's Funniest? No. What's the one with the bloopers and stuff? They always had the cartoon drawings that would run across the screen on the bottom. And yeah, that's him. He drew all that. So he passed away, age of 99. That's a good life. That's a good life. He is... His inkwell is dried up, I guess you would say. I don't know how to wrap that one up. And speaking of wrapping things up, I'm going to tell you this right here. You ready for this? So, the Ghost Rider. Are you familiar with Ghost Rider? I know, no, the horrible one. Yeah, the one with Nicolas Cage. That one was horrible. Well, they're coming out with a new Ghost Rider, and it's the guy from The Walking Dead. Now, I'm not a big Walking Dead fan, but they are going to revamp the Ghost Rider. Now, the reason why they're doing that is because Marvel has now claimed rights back to. Oh, it's a big saga. It's a big comic book nerd thing. Marvel has re-upped it or gotten more control over the Ghost Rider, and they're coming back to Marvel. So they're going to make it like this whole Doctor Strange and Ghost Rider and this whole mythical thing. They're going to spin off and do their own series and stuff. But the guy who's going to play the new Ghost Rider is Norman Reedus. And he's going to be, you know, the guy from Walking Dead. The guy who just looks like he's dirty and stinky. Which one's that, Deacon? They all look dirty and stinky. It's the one guy who looks like, I always say he looks like the guy from the kid from the Terminator. It might be the same guy. I don't know. I'm throwing things out there. Hopefully it sticks to the wall. But yep, so who better to play the Ghost Rider than Norman Reedus? He's also got a series right now on AMC, Ride With Me, which shows his exploring the motorcycle culture. So why not? Hell yeah, he says. It would be a blast. I've always been a big fan of Dan Ketch version of the Ghost Rider, so hopefully Doctor Strange, and we'll be launching a supernatural side of the Marvel Ghost Rider, and the Ghost Rider will ride once again. So the guy from Walking Dead might be the new fiery head guy. Now, here's another thing. You guys like roller coasters? Hell yeah, we do. I'm not a big roller coaster fan. I'm not. I don't get into it. I never have. You know, I always err on the judge of caution. Like if something happens. But my friend, a good friend of mine, took me to I'm born and raised in Florida. Cut me open, I bleed sand. And we have all the theme parks and stuff. Now, growing up, we didn't have Universal Studios. All we had was Disney World and Busch Garden and SeaWorld, you know, sprinkled in there somewhere. But Busch Gardens was always the roller coaster thing. So on my 21st birthday, my best friend growing up, who's now passed away, he took me to Busch Gardens. Now, if you've never been to Busch Gardens, they have what they call a hospitality house, because they do brew beer right there on the premises. I promise you, on the premises. So you're allowed to drink beer and stuff and have some beers. And then I said, this is the only way I'm getting on them. It's the only way I'm getting on them. You would think the two wouldn't meld well together, but I had to get over the knocking of the knees, the chattering of the teeth. So a couple beers usually does that to me. And we started on the basic one and worked our way up to the big ones. And yeah, I rode all the roller coasters, and that was it. That was the last time. And then I've got stories about Universal Studios, but we're running short on time, so I won't get into that. Maybe another episode I'll tell you about Universal Studios. I used to work there, guys. You did. I sure did. But this Alpine coaster, if you don't know what an Alpine coaster is, basically it's just a rail track, and you're sitting in a car, in this almost like a little sled type car. North Carolina opens its first Alpine coaster in the Blue Ridge Mountains. One of the best ways to take North Carolina's beautiful atmosphere in the Blue Ridge Mountain is by roller coasters. Wilderness Run Alpine coaster, to be exact. The first Alpine coaster, can they put that in here one more time, in the state will take you down 2,390 feet of track at up to 27 miles per hour, twisting and twirling above the Sugar Mountain Ski Resort. This is an exciting addition to the Banner Elk area. So you guys have always heard about Banner Elk, good skiing and stuff. This is considered to be about 30 total Alpine coasters in the whole United States. So there's only 30 of them. Now, what's the difference between a regular roller coaster and an Alpine coaster? The difference is because they use descent down the mountain to create its speed. So basically, gravity. Army veteran Eric Burchard and his wife Tara are the owners and operators of the roller coaster, which their daughter, Ashley Brown, helping with marketing and customer service. The military family was inspired to make the coaster after spending time overseas. You can slow down or take it all in. So you have basically a friction lever on the front of you. So there's no mechanical, there's no moving parts, there's no moving anything. And we'll play the video so you guys can see it.
Gorgeous, gorgeous.
So it works on gravity. So basically they let you go.
Josh rode in front the last times. He told me to go ahead and go in front this time. Great experience.
Now there's a cable that
highly recommended
brings you up to the high points. You can hear it clicking. That's the track. Getting to the top. It's a cable that brings you up to the top and then lets you go.
forward now. All right.
And there's like a little break in the front, and it's like just basically like a pad that like a I don't want to say plastic pad, but it's a urethane pad that uses as a brake if you get too fast.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
You're welcome. $16 per rider. You can either go solo or ride with two people. Right now, the coaster is only welcoming visitors who book and reserve their spot ahead of time.
80-foot marker there.
And he goes. And it's all gravity. 2,390 feet of track it goes through, weaving between trees and down the slope. My big fat ass I hit the turn two, and there I go right into the bush. And you'll read about me on the next wilderness Alpine news report or something like that. All right, one more thing. You ready? You guys want to make some money? Hell yeah, we do. This guy made on one bet. He made $3.1 million. He just bet one time, and that was it. This man places a 100,000 bet on one number on roulette and won. That's right, he bet. Some people are born gamblers, while others do not risk a penny to save their hard-earned cash. I'm not a gambler. I'll buy some scratch-off tickets, and that's about it. It's pretty clear which category Brazilian businessman Pedro Bartel's falls into. He bet $100,000 on one spin of the roulette wheel. Bartel, who's the president of a shoe company whose uncle is a billionaire, must be nice. Thanks to all the success of a sandal manufacturing company, placed a huge stack of chips on the number 32 at Uruguay's hotel. So this isn't here in the United States. Uruguay's Hotel Conrad. And then the number 32 hit. He won $3.5 million. Now, if you want to see the video is a little shaky because some jackass keeps pointing the camera up to the ceiling, but here it is. You can see, and the way you see the video is to go to profitradio.com, click on DeaconLive, and you can see the video. All right, now it's going to be, here it goes. So you can see this guy looks like a complete jamook. If you know what a jamook is, that's my wife's Italian. I'm allowed to say that. It's a Ganzamaka looking guy. He's got like a silk shirt on, just like a douchebag. But he's got a stack of chips, probably about a foot tall, on the number 32, and all his friends are hanging out with him because he's the one with the money. Sure, you got lots of friends. Don't touch anything. It's all in Spanish. Curse words galore. The whole entire casino is watching this one spin. It's going around. It's going around. There it goes. The guy's pointing the camera at the ceiling. Idiot. He got it. They're all dancing around in like this big football circle, jumping up and down like a big huddle. $3.5 million. It pays out 36-1. This guy just won but he's already a millionaire, and his dad's a freaking billionaire already. So it must be nice. You know, I always go, when I worked in Vegas, I used to go in the casino and just take $100, red or black, and just try to double my money. That's about the extent. Oh, you got $100? Let's see if I can double it. Red or black? Damn it. And sometimes it'll be like, cool, $200, and then you go, I'll just put maybe another $100 on there. You just can't, it draws you in. But that's the whole draw of gambling and stuff. All right, on behalf of all you guys sending me all these stories and stuff, I would like to thank each and every one of you for listening to us and sharing your stories and videos and stuff. And the way you can do that is go to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com, and click on the share, and you can share those with me. Something you think, any of the news articles and stuff that you think I would find interesting to talk about here on Deacon Live. Also, if you want to leave a verbal message, it comes right here to the station. Click on the Be Heard little blue bar at the very bottom of the page, and you can leave a voice message, and it comes right here to the podcast, and we play it on the very next podcast. On behalf of all you guys out there listening to us, I'd like to thank each and every one of you. My name is the Deacon, saying good night and good night.
Wait! Come back!
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi.